I can't believe I'm getting paid for this.
What is going on, guys? Biznix here. Today we're going to be talking about the new heroes in the Star Wars Battlefront DLC. We're talking about Dengar and Lando. So definitely stick around, but before I go any further, I just want you to know subscribing to my channel grants you daily Star Wars Battlefront videos. Also, if you ever want me to do something in particular, let me know in a comment and I'll most likely be able to do it for you. And finally, if you ever want to play with me, let me know and I'll be able to get my appropriate Xbox One information to you. Without further ado, let's talk about the heroes. So the first hero we're going to talk about is Dengar, and Dengar is an absolute beast. He has okay, so we're just going to go into it basically. He's yielding an enhanced DLT 19. So it does more damage, shoots faster, and quite simply it's just better than the regular DLT 19 because he's a hero, or a villain, I'm sorry, a villain. He also has a trait that makes him super buffy, like, you know, really strong. So basically, he has a trait of 5% damage mitigation at the base level. When you haven't killed anyone, he automatically negates 5% of damage. Then it also goes on to, if you kill somebody, it goes on to the 10% damage mitigation. So that's pretty good right there, but it gets better. If you kill 3 people, okay, in quite a decent succession, it goes up to 25% damage mitigation. And if you thought that was too much, it gets better. Whenever you kill 3 more people right after that, relatively in a short span of time because it is on cooldown, if you do, you'll have 50% damage mitigation, which is amazing. 50% armor against any blaster. If somebody shot you with like a T-21, you're not going to take like any damage, and you're able to run into places, throw these grenades out, and like, you know, smack people with your gun. It's freaking awesome. Okay, so before I get ahead of myself, because I'm going to go through the abilities. So like I was talking about with the grenades, it's called Explosive Rush. So he has these grenades that he throws out from his sides. They latch onto enemies that are close to them, and the ones that don't latch onto enemies fall on the ground somewhere. But they essentially, they latch on, they heat seek to the enemy and just explode whenever they hit them. And it's really good and really powerful, and I'm really using it like a lot, and especially in these sabotage matches whenever you're trying to like get into the we're getting ahead of ourselves. That's going to be a separate video. Okay, sabotage is going to be a video I'm going to be making later, so remember to hit that subscribe button if you want to see it. But yeah, so that is Explosive Rush, where he throws the grenades out. The second ability that he has is called Hurricane Strike, and Hurricane Strike is a hilarious form of Han Solo's rush. I don't know if you guys know what I'm talking about, but when Han Solo is actually going after an enemy and it's a little closer or a little farther away than him, he can rush at them, and if he hits them, they die. Well, Dengar basically runs at enemies with his gun up in the air, and then he hits them, and if they're in his way, they die. And I feel like it's better than Han Solo simply because he runs farther and it has a wider radius, so I think it's really awesome. And it has a relatively short cooldown, so that's why it's good too. His last ability, which I think is really good and melts people instantly, is called Frenzied Blast. So essentially what this does is when you activate it, it makes Dengar's ability to shoot a lot faster. So the DLT 19 turns into like a submachine gun that shoots really far, and burst fire is like amazing, and if one of these burst fire hits another enemy, it kills them instantly. Unless it's a hero, then it takes a couple of burst fires, but it's really strong. And if you're a hero and you're up against Dengar, watch out for this because it's gonna kill you if you don't watch out for it. Okay, so being a really good Dengar player isn't too hard. You just got to be careful when you're rushing into places and remember what kind of trait level you're at, because if you're at a trait level 1 and you try to rush into somewhere, you're probably going to die. But if you're at trait level 3 and you rush into somewhere, you're going to melt people really fast and probably take the objective. So that's why Dengar is really good. But now we're going to go into Lando. Okay, so Lando is equipped with the X8 Night Sniper, which is a new weapon in this DLC. And this weapon is very unique because when you aim down the sights with it, it actually is like heat vision, and you can see enemies through walls sometimes, or at least see them if they're like in smoke. So it's really like a helpful bonus, and it doesn't even require one of his skills, so it's really nice. But Lando is definitely not as strong as Dengar, and it's not really how his playstyle is supposed to be. He's more of a trickster, which is basically what the developers call him. But essentially, all Lando needs to do is place down all his things that mess with the enemy, and it basically allows him to kill them. But let's talk about Lando's trait right now first before we go into his abilities. So Lando's trait, I don't really know what it's called, but it's really just affects his crit chance. And crit chance simply means the ability for his X8 Night Sniper to do more damage. And the more damage is simplified to 2.5 more damage than a regular shot. So if you have regular shot damage multiplied by 2.5, that's how much crit damage it's going to do. And the developers have said that it's going to be signified by a larger blast when it hits an enemy, but I haven't seen it yet, and I'm not really sure if it's a thing, but that's what's supposed to happen, so yeah. But the crit chance is how it works. So at base level, you have a 2% crit chance, which is very small. At the first level, you have 5%. Second level, you have 10%. And third level, you have 25%. And like it's same with Dengar, you have to have kills in succession and abilities in succession that work ultimately to enhance your, I don't know what it's called, it's like, you know, like Rito's confidence boost and Nien Nub's augmented turret. Well, it's basically Lando's augmented turret, but it's not, okay? I don't know what it's called, but that's what it does, so yeah. Now let's go into his abilities. Okay, so his first ability is called Power Blast. Sorry, I was gonna say the other one, but it's Power Blast. I felt like it'd be better to start off this one. So, Power Blast simply is you activate it, and Lando can charge up his blaster, and it can go anywhere from ×1 to ×6 damage. However, whenever you are holding it down for ×6 damage, you are sacrificing a lot of the active time, and if you miss your shot, you essentially have wasted your card. But essentially, you can use it like Han Solo's overheat blaster thing, whatever you want to call it, where he has unlimited blasts. It's sort of like Lando, but Lando has the ability to charge up his shot, and it can do a lot of damage. So it's essentially like Han Solo's overheat rapid fire, and also his lucky shot. Because if you hold it down for ×6, it's doing just about the lucky shot, or even more. So it's really, really good. That's his first ability. His second ability is called Shocking Trap, and this one's really funny, and right now everybody dies from it because nobody knows the maps very well. But whenever Lando puts down the Shocking Trap, it looks like a little sphere on Lando's screen, but on the enemy screen it actually looks like a power-up. And this power-up could be an ability, like, you know, like an ability power-up, like a Smart Rocket, I'm sorry, or it could be a hero pickup. And trust me, when people see the hero pickup, they're like, oh my gosh, I'm gonna get it. And then as soon as you go to it and try to pick it up, especially if there's more people around you, it shocks everybody. And if you don't break free from the shock, it actually kills you. And you only have, I think, 5 seconds. And yeah, so it's really funny to watch people do it. But it's really effective right now. But as soon as people get more accustomed to the map, you're going to actually have to place this in places where hero token or abilities usually spawn. That way you can still trick people. There is a way, however, to notice if this is a fake one, and that's quite simply looking at the rotation. Normal pickups spin clockwise, but this one spins counterclockwise. So you're going to have to look whenever you're picking stuff up now, or you're going to die, basically. His last ability is called System Disruption. This one is really, really good, but it has a long cooldown. Essentially, if you pop this, and enemies are around, heroes or enemies, their abilities go on cooldown, and their blasters go on cooldown. So, and star cards. So, for regular infantry, star cards and blasters go on cooldown. For the heroes, or villains I should say, their abilities go on cooldown. So it gives you like a chance to escape if you're gonna die, or it gives you a chance to get an insane amount of damage off on somebody really fast. So that's Lando's basically that's all his abilities and that's all of his traits. So if I had to give him like one word, it's probably skillful. And if you're a very good player at this game, you understand maps and you understand player movement, Lando might be almost impossible to kill. Unless you make a big mistake, you are going to have a really hard time dying with him. Because he has so many abilities that can save you from problems. And that's why I honestly really like him, but I still think Dengar is better just because he's super, super bulky. But guys, that's really about it. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, be sure to leave a like. If you thought it was helpful, let me know in the comments what you thought was awesome. If I missed something, let me know in the comments because sometimes it happens. And remember to subscribe because I am going to be posting a crap ton of Bespin videos today, tomorrow, the next day, the next day, the next day, and Star Wars Battlefront in general. So, and remember I'm a season pass holder, so future DLC I'll be getting stuff early too. But that's about it. I'm not going to hold you much longer. I know you want to get out and start playing it yourself. So thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one.
It's a trap!